I'm calling Ayos.
What's going on, everybody? Happy Friday. I'm Eve, and while I'm not calling ice tonight, definitely some ice has been called, and I felt it was fitting to start the show with our good brother Yoshi Mod's song, "I'm Calling Ice" on you. Well, maybe not you. You might be from the land of the land. You know, it wouldn't apply to you, but some of you others out here. Well, I just don't know what's going on. Today is April 25th. It's Friday. I'm a little early, a little late. Life be lifing. And I know y'all be working with me, and I appreciate that, right? So, without further ado, power, corruption, justice on trial. Look, in the past 4 months, there have been two judges and a senator, and they've found themselves behind bars. There have been accusations ranging from obstruction to tampering with evidence, and even the attempted enticement of a minor, which sounds a little rapey to me, but maybe not to you. Um, Shockwaves have been sent through the legal and political world. But I wonder what this means. I wonder how deep the corruption goes. Do y'all have these thoughts? Because I know it's not just me, but maybe y'all didn't hear about these stories like I didn't hear about these stories. You know, you kind of have to search for some of this shit. They definitely don't highlight or put it in the mainstream media loud and proud about all of these corrupted individuals. I mean, really, you've got, let's pause that for a moment, two judges and a senator. Look at, you see him? And I know last week we had a little trivia game, and I thought about playing trivia for, if you could guess what this person was found guilty of, but I know that y'all would definitely peg Homeboy on the right to be a child diddler. He just kind of, his look is just giving diddler. But then, maybe everybody's kind of looking a little suspicious. At least all three of the people on your screen look suspicious. Tonight, I hope that we can break down some of these scandals, get into the investigations and the consequences, because tonight, justice. No one is above the law. Y'all know that, right? Just in case you needed a reminder.
Check black first cause it's brilliant. People talk too much. Say this. Remain on code, follow the spirit. When the going gets tough, it's time for resilience. Say this. A fight inherited, no turning back, we're on our way. Tune into Eve at the end of your day.
Justice, no peace. No justice, no peace. No due process, no peace. No due process, no peace. Escucha, estamos en la lucha. No justice, no peace. No justice, no peace. No due process, no peace. No due process, no peace. Escucha, estamos en la lucha.
That's real rowdy, isn't it? That is footage from hundreds of protesters gathered outside a federal courthouse in downtown Milwaukee to support Judge Hannah Dugan, or Duggan. I don't know. Duggan. There you go. Her name's right there. Have you heard about Judge Hannah? Because I hadn't heard about Judge Hannah until, well, there's like glimpses and little slivers of information coming out. And it's like, damn, can somebody kind of go into this? And can it be someone that I trust? Because the way that I find a lot of these uh, outlets, two wing, same bird, you can't really expect one side that's working with the other side to really work against the other side, as much as we've been very confused. Um, Hannah Duggan, she's been accused of obstructing federal authorities, allegedly helping an undocumented immigrant evade ICE agents in her courthouse, y'all. Like, where is the line? Because to me, it's giving Underground Railroad without the slavery. They tried, and they tried. I mean, they really tried. The Democrats tried to pass this lie off as, the undocumented people are here working unlivable working areas and wages, and it's slavery 2.0. And it's like, no, you can't say it's slavery 2.0 when slavery 2.0 actually exists. I mean, really, we've got the prison system here in America. And then, damn, you've got slavery 3.0, where it's essentially slavery that's never gone away. I mean, in the motherland, on the motherland, in all of those beautiful countries that have all those beautiful black skinned, melanated people, slavery is still going on over there, and they haven't quite fixed it as much as they've fixed their feet to get over here and tell us that we need to be doing something about something. And well, you get a lot of different color people supporting people who kind of have a story that could be similar to a story that we've heard before, a story that we might have lived before, but it's not the same. It's like if you go to a restaurant and you ask them for, I don't know, Coca-Cola, but they don't serve Coca-Cola. They only serve Pepsi products. And a lot of y'all will be like, all right, I'll just take the Pepsi. Right? I mean, am I wrong? Have any of y'all left the restaurant that didn't serve your specific brand of beverage brand? Yeah, I guess that's like a beverage brand. Yeah, so if they didn't serve Coke products, have you left? If they didn't serve Pepsi products, did you leave? Because I know 9 times out of 10 y'all stayed. You just accepted whatever they had, or you just drank water. And I guess everybody's like, you can drink water. It's not going to be the best water. It's probably going to be off the tap. It's probably going to have all sorts of metals and extra minerals you weren't trying to ingest on your evening out. But still, it works. It does what it's supposed to do, right? That's what we have going on in America. I mean, really, you can look at pretty much any environment of your life and use Mr. Fuller's identifying connecting factor, where racism, white supremacy is involved. And if you think you understand it, then maybe you're more confused than you want people to know. I mean, you might be so confused that you are leading your people into a burning building. I heard today somebody using Dr. King, his assassination / murder, with regards to the Civil Rights Act of 1964. And Trump's coming for your rights, blackies. He's coming for your rights. Why aren't y'all scared? Why don't y'all do something? It's like, is he coming for our rights, or is he coming for the rights of the people who've been using our names in vain? Sorry, some questions are going to have to be asked, because really, this is happening here in the United States of America. You've got signs in different languages. I mean, don't get me started on the fact that you can get a ballot in a language that's not English, but, we can protest in other languages. It's
No justice, no peace. No justice, no peace. No due process, no peace.
No due process, no peace. Now, look, Judge Hannah, you might think that it was good for her to do what she did, because again, we're talking about the people who've been likening illegals invading our streets, businesses, homes, and environment, and doing jobs that people don't do because the wages don't make sense. The math ain't mathin', so we're not about to just go out here and just starve. No, why would we? We've worked too hard. So you've got other people who said, I'll take crumbs, and then, well, now they're here. But this is a story that I came across. You can check it out.
Sitting in the courtroom with the state prosecutor, the judge learns that ICE was outside to get the guy because he had been deported in 2013, came back in our country, commits these crimes, charged with committing these crimes, victims in court. Judge finds out. She goes out in the hallway, screams at the immigration officers. She's furious, visibly shaken, upset, sends them off to talk to the chief judge. She comes back in the courtroom. You're not going to believe this. Takes the defendant and the defense attorney back in her chambers, takes them out a private exit and tells them to leave. Why?
Doesn't that sound like some Underground Railroad shit? Like, I mean, you've got in 2025, you've got good white people helping out the brown people, and they're so confused about what's wrong. And it's like, really? If it has to be spelled out for you, then I will spell it out for you. The good white people back in the slavery times were helping people who were enslaved. That's the biggest difference, right? And then, well, I guess you've got another big difference. These brown people are choosing to come over here, knowing the conditions. They know exactly what they're up against, but they said it's cool. Like, they're good. They will spend thousands upon thousands of dollars. They will use their entire life savings, their father's retirement. Oh my gosh, I've got a sick mother in Guadalajara, but I had to use the $26,000 that they saved to get to America and try to send money home. What? Come on. And then some of these people have been scammed and bamboozled. And I'm not talking about the actual physical assaults. The people who've been trafficked, that's slavery 3.0 or 4.0. I'm not sure which 0.0 we're at, but still, slavery is still out here, and they're not helping the enslaved. They're helping these other people. It's so strange, but I digress.
While a state prosecutor and victims of domestic violence are sitting in the courtroom.
Wow.
Madam Attorney General, great to have you here, and thanks for coming back on America Report. So we remember these words of Tom Homan, the border czar. This was March 17th, and his message on these judges who apparently are trying to get in the way of this administration's efforts. Listen.
I'm proud to be a part of this administration. We're not stopping. I don't care what the judges think. I don't care what the left thinks. We're coming.
So when you see these judges trying to obstruct your efforts to make this country safer, what is your message to them?
We are going to prosecute you, and we are prosecuting you. I found out about this the day it happened. We could not believe, actually, that a judge really did that. We looked into the facts in great depth. That's her picture up on the screen, Hannah Dugan, who is now in custody. You cannot obstruct a criminal case, and really, shame on her. It was a domestic violence case of all cases, and she's protecting a criminal defendant over victims of crime.
In fact,
Look, it's so funny to me. And I know it's not like ha funny. It's more like ironic funny. I get it. My humor is a little weird. But have y'all noticed it? The media, especially white people in media, they always try to humanize people. It's the domestic abuse. It's the father, the children, the mother. Have y'all heard that? It's like over and over again. And it seems to, again, take both sides of the story, because if you've been following what's going on in Maryland, that he's supposed to just be a father, a Maryland father. He's a father from Maryland, but he's been up to some activities, and he's not the topic of our conversation tonight, so I don't really want to derail right here, but I'm just saying, like, she keeps talking about the domestic abuse and where's the humanity? They interviewed people in Maryland about Mr. Maryland Senator guy who went down to El Salvador to try to save the father, right? And every single Black person that they interviewed said that they feel much safer knowing that that man is not there to, one, create more bills to probably F us over, and two, the man who got deported, hey, yeah, absolutely, send more of them because our streets are safer. Do you know that Mexicans were protesting having Mexicans come back because the streets have been safer with the criminals in America? I'm sorry. I would rather every country take back their properties, their people, take them all back. And if you're not going to take them back, there's a country who will take them back. We've got good partnership and allyship, apparently, with El Salvador for now. And, well, if they're going to take them, I say let's send them there, because it's like that saying, the party's over, you ain't got to go home, but you do got to get the fuck up out of here. And I mean that respectfully, of course.
She just had an initial appearance in court. There's also this other case coming out of New Mexico. Judge Joel Cano and his wife were arrested for harboring a TDA member at their home. The alleged TDA member had been picked up by law enforcement, and now he and his wife were picked up and arrested. And you say that you believe, as the Attorney General, that the person that they were having living at their home was a truly potentially bad individual.
Yeah, that's the judge up on the screen now who got arrested. Yeah, his name is Ortega. He was a known TDA member, So he comes through Eagle Pass December 2023. He's living in our country. January 2025, ICE, they get a tip. Tom Homan's done a great job. Our FBI did a great job on this case too. They get a tip that he is living with a judge and the judge's wife. So they have him arrested first on immigration charges. A Judge Damian Martinez releases him, saying that Judge Cano has a good BS meter and wouldn't let just anyone live on his property.
I'm sorry, Martinez, come on. Look, there's too many judges with these names from people who are not from here. And yes, we're going to have to stereotypically use, you're not from here with a last name like Martinez. I'm sorry. It's come to this, right? Where we have to be so bigoted that it is almost inhumane, because people are going to feel like they're being treated like less than, but really, no, you're just welcome to the nigga treatment, right? And inside of nigga treatment, you don't have any rights. You don't have any say. You don't have any due process. You don't have anything. And be happy that you still have your life, because all of these situations could have gone way different if it was a nigga. I mean, I'm sorry. People are up in arms about what's going on because these people are just trying to help. They're just doing the right thing for people that they feel need assistance. But then who are these people that need assistance? And if they are members of violent gang organizations, is that the type of people we want over here? I'm sorry, you can't come from a shithole and then try to make my home a shithole. It is very disrespectful for you to come into my house with your dirty shoes. And no, I don't want you to take off your dirty shoes because you probably got funky feet. We're just going to have to just keep it at the door, right? But no, y'all are letting the solicitors in your house. Where they do that at? It's like y'all forgot your home training. And yes, I'm talking to you too. Talking to you and you, because y'all know better. These people, look, both of the judges that we're talking about, guess when they became judges? Can anybody guess? Let me give you like 3 seconds, because it's okay if you don't know. Look, both of them became judges when Obama was president. So if Obama is the president that is allowing these judges with these last names that we know are not from here to be able to interpret the law, there's no wonder that the 14th Amendment has everybody so confuddled. People are so confused about basic English. And I'm sorry, ever since I got on the mic, got on these YouTube streets and had anything to say, it's that words have meaning. And I don't mean that you out here casting spells, but some of y'all are. And inside of these spells, look, do you know how much damage you're doing? And it's very easy to stop suiciding yourself. You know, people are oofing themselves on accident when there's people out here who would oof themselves on purpose if they knew why they were doing the things that they were doing. Really, we would have willing sacrifices. Y'all need to go back through our story and look at every single moment of resistance. There's people out here who are willing, wanting, able to go out here and do the things, but they got to know what for, why, and right now, the justice system that we all know is corrupt, it's glitching, and it's glitching in our favor if we have a moment to pause. Yes, it is Fox News that I'm using these stories, but can you blame me? The Democrats have done so much to put out misinformation that can you imagine how this story is playing on those outlets? Because again, it is the bleeding heart. They want you to empathize with these people. And I'm not saying that people don't have stories, because they do. And some of the stories, they're real messed up. I get it. But we're going to have to prioritize some things. And no, you don't get to go first just because you thought you could go first. I don't know. I'm sorry. I don't have any reason that would allow you to put your plate before mine, especially when you're using my plate to get benefits. No. We're going to have to do something else, and we're going to have to continue, well, I guess, making people uncomfortable.
Yeah, I mean, when you look at the associations with this violent Venezuelan gang, Tren de Aragua, and this person that they harbored in their home, he was showing signs through clothing, we were told, tattoos. There was evidence through voice messages and text messages of his association to TDA. So what charges will Cano and his wife face, if any?
So Judge Cano, soon to be former Judge Cano, got his charges were just unsealed. He's charged with obstruction. He admitted post Miranda. He took one of the TDA members' cell phones himself, took it, beat it with a hammer, destroyed it, and then walked the pieces to a city dumpster to dispose of it to protect him. The wife also is charged with destroying evidence. Sandra, not only that, this TDA member, and he had on a necklace that said kill, something about death. He had tattoos all over him. He also had on his cell phone pictures of two decapitated victims, victims, decapitated, gruesome photos. And he was sending them out, and whoever he was sending them to was sending back saying, hey, you need to be careful. You shouldn't be sending these. You shouldn't be texting these photos out. Not only that, these two, the judge and his wife, gave him assault rifles that belonged to their daughter. That's what they're charged with. In the criminal report affidavit, he goes to a shooting range with these assault rifles, with a suppressor, with other known TDA members, and they're shooting. This is the last person that we want in our country, nor will we ever tolerate a judge or anyone else harboring them.
Let me, if I could, Madam.
And, she's all rowdy. Don't you kind of feel it? Kind of feel it, right? I mean, I kind of feel her. But I know that this is more of the same. It's all performative when it comes to the system that's working exactly the way it's supposed to. They're going to sprinkle some people who get caught, and there's going to be some uproar about some things, and then things will keep thinging, right? But maybe these are different times. Maybe we can use the information that we have at our fingertips and do a little bit of research. Get your Dr. Winters on and find out that a lot of this stuff has been planned and orchestrated. And when you think about that, think about who you are. I promise you, if you are of this land, you will feel some sort of tug, because it's past time to do something about the debris. You can't just be in a house that's got a bunch of trash unless you're a hoarder or just dusty. I guess some people exist in trash. There's a whole show called Hoarders that people binge watch on one of them channels. So I get it. But I know that that's not the majority. Maybe the majority doesn't want to pick up after themselves from time to time, but it is your mess that you're referring to, right? When you go out to the playground, to the park, to the public arena environment that you want to exist outside in, right? You don't want it to be a bunch of trash everywhere. Then you'd probably start complaining about the trash everywhere, and then you'd expect someone to do something about the trash. Look, it's your job to do something about the trash. And I'm sorry. I really am. Because I don't necessarily mean to refer to people as trash as much as, damn, if it walks like a duck, it talks like a duck, and waddles like a duck, it's in the water and doing the duck things, then it's probably a duck. Similarly, if people have trash mentality, trash behavior, trash activities, then it's probably trash, and it probably doesn't belong here in the great states of America, or shit, on the continent of North America. But I get it. We've got these little outskirts, little ghetto areas of a bunch of niggas, and they're not doing anything about the trash. So it kind of seems like they would bring it with them. And yeah, that has happened. So if you exist in a place that has a bunch of you, and y'all aren't taking care of the area there, then maybe you need to do something about those people. Moving right along. Look, here's another one.
Justin. I think everybody knows about Justin here, so I'm not going to get into that too much, other than to say that, as everybody knows right now, he is under federal prosecution. And I'm going to say one thing that Justin said that you might not know. The decoy had told him that they live with their aunt, and that their aunt was gone till next week. And then Justin had asked if he could have sex in his car. Well, because he asked that, and he came here trying to have sex with a child, you will notice a nice white Toyota outside with the Bloomington police logo on it, because we're forfeiting his vehicle administratively because he wanted to come here and commit a felony.
Okay, you're probably like, who is Justin? Justin who? That just looks like one of those regular old white people who be doing them things that they be doing when they be doing them things. But here you go. Here's Justin.
Every Sunday night during session, I say goodbye to my wife and kids and make the 3-hour trek to St. Paul to fight for our way of life, because day after day, it is under attack from Metro liberals.
A Minnesota state senator just arrested, accused of soliciting a minor for prostitution. 40-year-old Senator Justin Eichhorn is a Republican representing Grand Rapids. Bloomington police say that detectives posed as a 16-year-old girl and arranged to meet with him in Bloomington. Well, he was arrested after arriving in the area of the meeting spot.
Every Sunday night during session, I say goodbye to my wife and kids and make the 3-hour trek to St. Paul to fight for our way of life, because day after day, it is under attack.
Sorry, y'all. I got like 5 different screens on. It's that one. Okay, now Justin from Minnesota. Is that it? Milwaukee, Minnesota. Yeah, Minnesota. Served from 2017 to 2025 Obviously, he is no longer a senator. He pleaded not guilty to the charges of enticement of a minor. But you just heard from that black guy with authority. He said that his undercover agent told him, well, y'all heard it, Auntie's gonna be gone. And Justin's like, well, can we do it in the car? What? Okay. Okay. I know some of y'all are out here like, well, if you go put, $1 million in the middle of the street and then you booby trap it, then you can't be mad that people go and take the $1 million that are in the street. I mean, maybe. Or maybe y'all learned that lesson a long time ago where, if it's not yours, then maybe you just don't mess with it. You worry about yourself and then you won't have anything to worry about. But 2025, it's a bunch of people out here doing some things that we need to worry about. I mean, 2 judges and a senator in the last 4 months, and Trump is just getting started. I mean, really, they have such ambitious goals on how many people they're going to be sending back, and I have personal thoughts about these goals, but I mean, I'm hopeful. I'm hopeful that the streets get clear because, if we complain to the right people about trash, then maybe they'll do something about the trash. Now, I know some of you are out here scared saying that, oh, well, they're going to come for us next. They've never come for us as much as we are in environments and situations that really are out of our control, and it's easy pickings. We put people with no resources with a bunch of people with no resources and then expect it to be hunky-dory when everything around them is people with resources hunky-dory. It's the math ain't gonna math unless you've got some sort of crime and corruption. People aren't as good as you want them to be, but they can be better than they are. I find that these conversations that we have once a week, sometimes twice a week, sometimes y'all get me 3 times, but it's not likely to happen anytime soon. But when we have these conversations, we can kind of pause and maybe reflect on what we think we know. We thought that judges are out here doing the right thing. They get the case, they try the case, they go home. But what happens when they go home and they are committing crimes? Crimes against humanity, for Christ's sakes. I mean, really, foundational Black Americans, Native Black Americans, freedmen, Black Americans that are native to this land, however you identify, aren't you upset that it's taken this much? I mean, again, they are likening our ancestors' enslavement to the fact that people are choosing to come over here and are mad when they get some consequences. And these consequences aren't even irreversible because once Trump's not the president anymore, the way that our laws work, if the next president wants to come in and undo everything Trump did, they could if they have the cojones. So far, nobody's really come into that seat and really had the balls to do anything that Trump's done. So that's kind of why it makes sense that people that look like him don't really rock with him. He makes them uneasy. At the end of the day, he seems like a man who wants to make some money, and we're people who are owed some money. So it seems like we could work together. 2 judges and 1 senator. How many more are going to happen before the end of the year? I wonder. Till next time.
Just eat.